Where's this thing? Oh, man. Right. Hi there, everybody. My name is Lauren. Welcome to another video. I'd like to welcome my guest today, Randy.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? I've got my magnifying glass.
You guys are in trouble today. If you'd like to improve your riding and training or win more ribbons at your next horse show, or if you generally like horsey-related stuff, then this is the place to be, because we are going over some riding position reviews on photographs that you sent in. And if it's your first time here, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And if it's not your first time here, if you're watching the replay or watching on YouTube, thank you so much. We really appreciate you watching. All right. I guess Patty didn't make it. Let me just go check to see what Patty's doing here.
And for those of you who don't know, Patty's a co-host that works with us. She's another judge.
We invited her, but I guess she couldn't make it today.
Right.
So I've had a few people come in or send videos. Mackenzie, she was watching last week. She sent in about 8 emails and 10 pictures and 4 videos and
that was a lot
apologies. Yeah, it was really great.
I know it's so intimidating when, for those of you who are thinking of sending in your photos or videos, we understand that it's really intimidating, but we want to reassure you that what we're doing is we're going to give you the steps that'll take you to the next level of your success. We really want to make a difference to you. It's not that we're, like she says, that we're mean because I pull out this is just so I can see clear exactly what you're doing, so we can see the root of any issues you might have with your riding position or maybe your horse, and give you tools that you can use to make a difference with it. So thank you for those of you who are comfortable doing that, because we know it's a leap of faith to stick your information out there and have us, look at it, right?
Yeah, it's a very excellent. It's lovely. I certainly appreciate it, and I know that some of the comments we're getting on the YouTube channel are like, "Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it." So it's helping. You're not only helping us and helping yourself, but you're helping a lot of other people who watch the videos as well. Okay, so we do have a special thing today because first person here is, let me just see, is B Equitation. She had sent in, maybe you'll remember this person, Randy. She sent it in before. I'm just trying to figure out how to get my cursor here. Okay, so, oh yes. So B Equitation, she sent her picture in before. I don't know if you remember commenting on this one before, Randy, but we did. And I also like to tell you we are live. So if you have questions or comments, please put them in the comments or questions, because we'd like to hear your comments or questions. I'm just going to put something in here right now. Questions or comments, please post here, and you can see them right there. And we are broadcasting to Facebook, Equestrian Skill Builders, Facebook, my profile page, Randy Thompson's YouTube, and my YouTube. So you should be able to find us there. And this is B Equitation. Thank you so much for sending this in. Now, we did comment on her before, Randy, and so she sent an update. This was her before. She said...
This is the before?
This is the before. She said, "Hey, I've been riding multiple horses and trying to improve on what you've said. We don't have any school horses at our barn, so that's just a little blip. Anyway, I feel as if I've improved a good amount. And would you like to review me?" So that's like the before. And let's see if we can do. And here's the video. Can you see that? This looks like a lesson. Awesome.
Oh yeah, I really like how she goes into the turn and turns the horse around her inside leg is what we call it. Oh, there the horse.
Yes.
Yep. So she's keeping the horse around her inside leg. There she let him position. See, she fixes him when he tries to flip to the outside. So we're going a little into training here. I really like how she's able to do that quietly with her position. She's really brought her position back nicely. She's
Has she ever?
yep, she's over
Really
her
great
lower leg
job.
now. Yeah,
Love that.
yeah. Look at how she's over her leg
Good.
now.
Yeah. Different.
Nice.
Great coaching. Great
When
improvement, Biak.
when you get ready
So
for your lead changes, bring your horse's shoulders to the inside sooner, and you won't have that little glitch that you feel there. So you just think moving the shoulders over, not the head of the horse, and you'll get your lead changes better. See, look at how nicely she rides that. Her outside rein and leg are nicely on the horse. Look at her
whoops.
position. Yeah, her position is steady. You see, she's not bobbling all over.
Love the way she did that roll back there, looking around the turn.
Just a little bit falling to the back of the saddle, and all that is she's rising just like a hair more than she needs to in the canter.
Yeah, we don't know about the horse. Maybe it's really needs to be ridden like that. But yeah, so let's just a second here. We're just going to let that go. We're going to go back to
that's where she picks up that's nice corner. Nice corner.
So we go from this where she's, pinching with her knees, her lower leg swinging back, leaning on the horse's neck. Love the way she's looking up and looking around the turn there.
Even though basically good form, but you could
good form. But this,
more weight in the front than in the bottom of her feet.
Yeah, but now we're seeing this
clear difference. Nice job! Woohoo!
I love this turn.
Mm-hmm. Look at how she's riding through her center.
But riding both sides of the horse through there.
Both sides of the horse. Nice. And here's where you get a little bit out of your saddle. So here you want to go deeper into your lower leg. So you
turn. She could see she got a little handy there, didn't she? Just like a nice big half halt.
And she lost the spring.
Yep.
So when she gets a little handsy, which is easy to do when a horse is doing this, but we're working on refining your aids even more. So when you feel yourself getting a little handsy, that's the moment when you want to go even deeper into your lower legs and feel, because the horse will feel it. It's like a half halt where you feel yourself going stronger in your hands. You can actually readjust your riding position, and the horse will feel that and respond to that as a cue.
High five. Awesome job.
Good job.
Oh, hey, Randy, do it this way.
This way?
Wait a minute.
Oh, this way. Oh, wait. This way. Wait. My screw there.
And we have this for you, Biak. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Do you have any comments about that? Put them in the comments. Really appreciate it if you'd put it in the comments or ask a question about it. And if you would like to have your position reviewed, send us an email, thistleridge@hotmail.com. Or let's see if we can find that. Yeah, send your photos. You're going to put that in the banner there, Randy? Is that what you're looking for?
What's that?
Oh, I'll do it there. Yeah, so excellent job. Thank you so much, Biak, for doing that. Now, Mackenzie sent in, I think I told you this. Let me just get that out of here. Am I showing it? No, Biak. Okay. So here's Mackenzie. Sometimes the videos we can make them bigger and sometimes we can't. So here's Mackenzie. As I said, Mackenzie, she gave a little bit of information about her horse. She said Mackenzie riding Artano. Okay. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Is that how you pronounce his name, Mackenzie? I'm hoping Mackenzie's watching. If you can't see it on this one, don't worry. We've got several videos. I only picked this one video, but she sent in several pictures that we can also look at. It's difficult to see in this, so I'm just letting you watch this, Randy, so you can see it. And then we'll go to some of the pictures that she has as well. This is the closest that she comes. That's the closest jump that we can see.
Okay, she steps in her, I notice when she's doing the corner, she's not stepping into her inside stirrup to the right.
Yeah, it looks like she's getting a little bit off. Okay, let's see what happens here. Oh, the tree's
Nice,
in the
right?
way.
Yep, it's hard to see. The basic thing is this is a hard film to see. So I'm just kind of looking at shapes. So what I'm seeing is she's going around, because shapes tell us a lot if we can just look at the shapes. There, the horse is running through her aids a little bit. That's where she needs to readjust her riding position and go deeper down into her legs and give her horse that, for lack of a better word, the signal to stay connected with her. It's called a half halt.
Oh, this looks like quite a course. It must be an equitation course or a handy course or something.
Yes. Look at her ride, and great little rider. So let's see how she does this left turn. And what I'm watching is when she goes around the corner, if you watch the back of her,
she's done.
Her back of her saddle, you'll see her seat actually slides to the outside. Like, play that again and we can see it. Okay, and that's common with many riders because they're not supporting their body with the left side of their, keeping their left seat bone over their left leg. Like,
what a nice horse. I like the way you come trotting in there. It looks like you have a plan right from the get-go. That, you know, you've set the stage by trotting right in and just starting toward your first jump.
Yes. And looks.
Okay, so here's the turn. Now, what you're saying about Randy?
That see where she's starting to tip her upper body.
I could see that right here. Yeah, let me just see if I can mark that.
And that's really because and you see the horse is starting to fall to the inside too. So the horse has lost its balance because the rider's. And again, this rider of this level. Let me rephrase that. Is at a level where they're doing training and riding. So for this rider of this level, I would like her to use her drop her, practice riding without your right stirrup so you learn how to keep your weight in your left stirrup. When you go around a corner like this, use your left leg to get the horse to shift.
Okay, so wait a minute. On this turn, you're saying practice riding without your left stirrup.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Her inside stirrup.
Yes, because
so she puts weight into her outside stirrup, and that'll stop her from
collapse. See her collapsing to the right?
Yes.
Yes, that's because she's not putting the weight in the left stirrup. It sounds so simple. It's not so simple, by the way.
So you want her to drop her left stirrup.
Yes, and she has to not over fences. I mean, she probably could because she looks like a competent rider, but try it first without fences, then over poles, because you'll feel that you can't ride at first. But that's because your body has gone out of balance when you're doing things like this. And this is the perfect time for this rider to be able to focus more on how she is balancing a horse, because like I said, she is also training as she's riding.
So how will dropping your left stirrup help her not lean into her right stirrup?
Because she'll drop her right stirrup.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get at. Okay, so she drops her
right stirrup.
So this stirrup.
Yes.
On this side.
Because that's the side she's collapsing to, right?
She's leaning on her right stirrup.
That's right. Her whole body is saying, oh, let me put my weight on the right side where I'm more comfortable.
Exactly.
Right seat bone, right leg. And again, 99% of riders do this. So we all have to work on this forever, right?
Yes.
Forever. So it's nothing uncommon that you're doing. But again, we're just taking you to the next level.
Yes, so you don't lean onto your right stirrup. Take it away.
That's right. And you will whine.
That's
very, very. Don't think it's going to be
I would love to see if you've done this or if you're going to do this. That's a great exercise. Take a video of you like coming around the turn with one stirrup and then take that outside stirrup away. It's the outside stirrup that you're going to take away. Right. So I'd love to see how it looks.
Yes. And again, as you're doing this, anybody who practices this exercise, you have to have, first of all, a safe horse to do it on. I feel that this rider is comfortable on this horse and has control of this horse where she can explore the possibilities. Again, as I said, first on the flat, then over poles, then slowly increasing the height, because it's not as easy. It looks and sounds so easy, right, Laura?
It's not.
When I'm riding, because I have to focus on my position, when I'm really when I realize that I'm crooked, all I have to do is I just kick out my right stirrup, and I'll know right away if I'm crooked, because 9 out of 10 times you have to shift over as soon as you kick out your right stirrup.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So then I go right back to doing the, I'll do it with one stirrup. I'll do rising trot, sitting trot, and 2-point position, doing the sequence, 6 rising trot, 6 posted trot.
Okay, so we've got April says, good morning. I'm at the barn
Hi,
cleaning
April.
stalls trying to watch and listen at the same time. Might have to watch it later. Thank you, April. Appreciate it for putting a comment in. We're going to. Thank you, April. Appreciate it. Okay, so this is the same person. This is Mackenzie, and this is her horse. Oh, maybe it's not her horse. I don't know. Oh, he's owned by my trainer, Nori Scheffel. When she bought him, he had been doing meter 50s out in California, but had trouble with Liverpools. A few years later, we were working our way into the hunter ring, focusing mostly on keeping everything so calm. And I've included, so she explains. Thank you so much. So this is the same person. Oh, Patty. Patty says hi. Hi, Patty. How come you're not on here, Patty? I'm going to just ask her if she would like to join us. Appreciate it. Okay. Same person here, Randy. This is Mackenzie. And we could probably see, this is a lovely photograph, by the way. It's nice and clear and from the side. If you are going to say, if you are going to send a photograph, this is a great way to take it. There's a little bit like some part of her foot is covered by the jump standard, but this is a great photograph. Thank you so much. So here we can see that some of the things that Mackenzie was doing on the video that we just watched, and you could see right here some of the things that she was doing. And Randy, do you want to give a little comment on here?
Yes.
Generally speaking, overall, great photo. Love it. She's non-interfering. She's well on her way here. There's a few little tweaks we'd like to do, and in a couple of rides or with some more practice, she's well on her way. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
so
here comes Patty.
He actually looks totally like a totally different rider than the video that we saw over there. All right, so we'll just let Patty take over this one then.
Sure.
Looking at
This is
Hi, Patty.
This is Patty, everybody. Hi, Patty. Thank you for coming on.
A little rough looking.
We are.
Well, Patty is a USEF large art judge and has judged at some of the most prestigious shows in North America: West Palm Beach, Sonoma, Pebble Beach, Devon, Harrisburg, Marshall, Sterling, Hits Ocala, West Coast Pony Final. So this is Mackenzie on her horse, and she sent in a few pictures here. Let's take a look and see.
Okay.
So give us, if you've got 5 minutes to spend, we're going to give you 3 minutes here.
You got it. I can do that. I can do that. I love the position. I love the soft hand. I'd like her maybe a little more open. However, I believe that it's of the picture, and it seems to be an issue. I like where her hips are. I think it's fine. If she opened up, her hips would be more over the twist of the saddle. But I love it. I love the hands. I think she's following and not balancing on her reins, and I think it looks great. Maybe a little more forward, but I think it's pretty close to good.
Yeah,
I love it.
You just want to bring your shoulders back a little bit, eh? Like just this hip angle here.
It's that, remember to let the horse jump up to you, not to jump down to your horse. And and it's so hard to do. I judged a horse show in the Chicago area last week, and I noticed that a lot. And they're just jumping ahead just by a little tiny bit, and it just puts you in a kind of funky position if something goes wrong. it works if everything's good. It just doesn't work well if something goes wrong. So kind of remember that. And as you leave the ground, let that horse lift its withers to you.
Let the horse lift himself up to you. That's exactly what. Oh, hi, Emma. Hi, Emma. Thanks for tuning in. You should be out riding this morning, right? Yeah. So exactly. That's the big thing is that. And Randy, what would, pardon me, Patty, what would you do exercises to help improve this?
I think that this rider at this level probably just needs to think about it. Just think about letting that happen. Kind of letting things happen instead of making things happen. So if you're in the right position and you're in the right balance, you've done all those jobs, then let your horse jump up to you and let your horse do his job. Whoa, I look rough. I'm playing grandma this week, so it's a little for the next 5 minutes. So anyway,
congratulations.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. So the other thing I wanted to say, and this really has nothing to do with this picture, but when I was judging in Chicago, there's the, I can't even think of the class, but there's a class that's like a mini USEF, and you have to do 2 to 3 dressage movements in the flat work off.
Like what? Like what are the dressage movements? Like what? Turn on the haunches or
whatever I want. Turn on the haunches, shoulder in, haunches in.
Wow.
Any variation of all that, and not one rider in my top 4 knew how to do them. So they entered a class and they didn't know how to do the movements. So you guys talk to your trainers. Talk to your trainers. Tell your trainers you want to learn how to do those movements if you're going to do that class. So
are the movements posted somewhere?
No, we get to choose them. They're just basic dressage movements. So they're you can do leg yields. You can do anything we want to do. And of course, the jumps are in the ring. So most of us do. I did haunches in and turn on the haunches, and none of them did it correctly. So I pulled them over and said, okay, guys, you entered this class. You didn't know the basic dressage movements that are asked for, which are allowed. And you need to go talk to your trainers and tell them you want to do this correctly. So they all said thank you and they left. So we'll see if they did. I don't know. Anyhow, with all that being said, I'm going to go do dishes. Bye, guys.
Okay, thanks, Patty. Appreciate it. See ya. Okay, so let's get back to this photograph. That was very nice of Patty to come in and visit us. Thank you, Patty, very much. Appreciate it. This is Mackenzie. Randy, I love what Patty said about this rider. What do you have to say?
Well, as we said before, after watching her video, she doesn't even look like the same rider in the video because she was much more upright in her video. So I don't know what's happened in this one where she's tipping forward. So at this time, as I look at her, she's top heavy. And again, this is very slight, especially for a rider of this level. But you know, when the elbows go below the horse's neck, like they are in this position, that means you're ducking. You're bringing your shoulders down too far. There should be a helmet between your chest and the horse's thing. But what I noticed first when I look at this, and again, it's a lovely, her position looks great. We're just being really picky because that's what we do.
Yeah.
The seat is too far out of the saddle.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be down lower where you're more towards
bring your seat in the middle of the saddle, a little bit down lower, and just open up that angle a little bit, like right here. This hip angle, this is the hip angle here. We'd like to see that a little bit more. If she brought her seat over the middle of the saddle, brought her shoulders up. I mean, maybe not that much. Maybe that's a bit too much.
Yeah.
But, you know, enough. What did we say? Get a helmet in here?
Yep. Yep, right in there. And look at, she's got great looking where she's going. Like,
oh yeah.
Like Patty was saying, we saw even in the other video, she's got pretty light hands. When she starts getting into her hands is basically when she loses her riding position, because she gets into her hands instead of going deeper into the seat and into her connection. But that doesn't show on this photo. She's lovely. So is the horse. Cute. And I like, this is her left side. So what I noticed, you know, the left side's the weak side. So on this photo, it looks like she's pretty stable on that left leg. I would say it's even got spring from where we see here. You know,
beautiful leg. TRS Murray says, I find doing those kind of moves that Patty talked about is very helpful for all students to get the feel of movements in the horse. Yes, we're getting to you next, TRS Murray. But we do have, okay, it's almost 10 o'clock. So this is Mackenzie here. Now, how are we going to improve this rider, Randy? I mean, she is a lovely rider. It looks like her leg is pretty good. What are some exercises we're going to do with this rider to help improve what's going on here? Like her not waiting for the horse. So if you're not waiting for the horse, we want to make sure the horse comes up to meet you. What are some exercises we can do? I mean, I got a few in my mind that you would do with this rider if she came to you for a lesson.
Well, she's got some good basics, so this would be easy for her. You know, it'd basically be having her, because she's a more advanced rider, I'd like her to focus on closing her eyes, tying her reins on a knot and putting them on her neck, and not moving her position as she goes through, for example, a small grid. Again, starting on the flat. She might notice on the flat, as soon as she comes up to a ground pole, she automatically starts leaning forward in the saddle, you know, because she's getting ready to jump for the horse. And it could be ever so slight, but as we can see with this picture, ever so slight turned into her ducking over the horse. So that's what I would do first.
Just some small grids. Yeah, like gymnastics.
With your eyes closed on a safe horse. This looks like a safe horse. And just, feel. All you have to do is, the easiest way to do it is you put your hands where the reins should be, you know, when you're doing your release, that type of thing. Place them against guide the horse. Start by guiding the horse with your reins in one hand, and then one hand on the crest of the neck where your hand should be. As you're coming up to the jumps with your eyes closed, you know, start with them open or slightly slanted so you can feel it. All you have to do is put your hand on the neck to keep your body where it should be. Your body should not make your elbow close.
Right. So almost like a pushing yourself away from the neck and keeping everything coming down. Yeah.
Your leg and seat. And it's a simple fix for a rider of this level. Well, I shouldn't say it's simple because, you know, it takes 1,000 times to get it right.
It's really teaching yourself how to feel what's happening underneath you, because this is a mechanical thing. She comes to the fence and goes, boop.
She flips. So she just needs to become aware of her tipping point, is what I call it. So when you're feeling, when you're riding around, you know, with your hand on the mane and closing your eyes, just feel at what point do you disconnect and fall more forward on the horse instead of deeper into your legs.
Yes. Agreed. Totally. Yeah. So I was thinking the same thing. Let's get the 2-point position and go over some trot rails. And I like your idea of closing your eyes. I would just think of just focus on that
for this level of rider. We wouldn't want to do that with everybody, but she's got a safe horse and she looks like she can do it.
And just kind of focus and relax and focus on the spring and focus what's happening underneath you. Right. And even going through a grid on a safe horse. Yeah, we're trying to make sure that people don't go out there and do stupid things, but go out there and you can't see what I'm doing, but put your hands on your hips as you're going through a grid, or just put your reins in one hand. That's a really good idea. And do it over one pole, do it over a little cross rail, do it down the long side while you're trotting, so you can feel what your upper body is doing. Because that's what's happening here is that she needs to feel what her body is doing. And if you're approaching the jump, and you make the big move instead of the horse coming up to you, you make the big move.
You don't have to change your position. The horse does it for you. That's the secret to success, right? It doesn't make sense until you get it. And then once you get it, you're like, oh man, all I had to do was just sit there.
Okay, here's the same person. This is Mackenzie. Thank you, Mackenzie. I did get all your emails and all your pictures. These are great pictures from the side. And the jump standard doesn't obscure this. So this is kind of what happens when you do get ahead of the horse. What's this one here? That's that one. Same person. Looks like it might even be the same horse show. Again, this is her left side. What say you, Randy? Oh, does anybody have any comments or questions about what's happening here? We've got lots of viewers on here. If you have any comments or questions, put your comments or questions in here. And you may see us looking down because we're looking at the screen, looking at the pictures that you sent. And then my camera's up here, so I'm looking up at you at the camera, but then I'm looking at the screen to see what's happening down here, and I'm typing stuff in for people as well. So if you have comments or questions on what you're seeing, what kind of exercises would you do for this rider to help improve her position? This is Mackenzie. Thank you, Mackenzie. Really appreciate you sending in these photos.
All right. So what I see is from this picture is, again, the video, it doesn't show how much she really tips forward. So this is interesting to see the comparison. But this is a great example of she is at the point of her position where she is now locking her leg. She's getting ready, even though it looks basically in the right place because it's she's got a nice educated leg.
Yeah, she does. And she's not interfering with the horse as we would think, you know, like getting left behind and pulling on his mouth. But
so what's happened is she might even try a little shorter stirrup to see if that helps her, because she's locking her knee, which pushes her seat back, which is what causes the seat to go so high over the jump. Like she ends up jumping over the pommel of the saddle. Yeah. And that's really because she's braced in her stirrups instead of springing. It sounds so easy. It's not so easy. She needs to, as you can see, it's clear. She's heavy on the forehand. If we took the horse out from underneath of her, she'd hit her nose. Beautiful. Look at how she's looking. I like that. Her light hands. Yep. Again, the elbows are below the neck, which is whatever.
Well, actually, Randy, they're not. I've got the picture a bit bigger here. Her elbows are here. This is her elbow here.
Oh, there they are. Oh, well, good for her. So she's just kissing the horse's neck with her.
But look at, here's one thing that we talked. There's her head.
Yep.
There's her hands.
Yep. They're beautiful.
Her head is well in front of her hands.
Yep. Too bad. Yep. That's not good. That's her ducking. But again, she's tightened up her body. She may not even know she's doing it consciously. It could just be 2 strides out of 10, but here it is.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you for the photograph, because, oh my gosh, that shows a lot of things that we like to talk about. The other thing is that look at the horse's head and ears. Maybe you can't see it. But he's saying, you know, what the heck are you doing back there? At least that's what I get the impression of. He's saying, what are you asking me to do? You know.
Well, what will happen is as her position gets even steadier, she will find that her horse is able to jump better because she stays above her horse's center instead of jumping ahead of it. Because this makes jumping ahead of a horse makes them a little heavy on the forehand, even when they're going through a course.
Yeah.
So as she gets more balanced, she should find that her horses stay with her more instead of taking her like they were at the video. There was a little bit of taking, which will change everything. It'll keep more connected in everything.
And going back to the what Patty said, to let the horse jump up for you. We'd like to see her seat over the middle of the saddle. Seat over the middle of the saddle here.
And lower.
Shoulders not so forward.
Right.
I mean, and maybe that's not exactly where we want her to be, but this is way too far. Now, what did we?
She loses the spring. That's the important thing.
She's losing her spring, and her spring from here. So we need to have her seat in this position here. So you get more. I mean, that's maybe an exaggeration with less. Okay, and we have to remember also that stirrup leather. Stirrup leather should pretty much divide the rider in half.
And it should be vertical to the ground.
Should be vertical to the ground. And again, I mean, we're getting right in here now. The back of her thighs on the horse, the back of her calf is on the horse. We want to make sure the inside part of her calf is on the horse. So,
and this is a normal part of the jump for most riders to start gripping with their calf. So, you know, the back of their calf, it's just normal because you balance your body more in that position. So it's at this point where we connect. That's the point where you want to think that's where you really want to get springier. When you feel the need to grip is really when you need to have more fluid movement to follow the horses, what they're doing.
Excellent. Those are really good. Okay, now as far as exercises for this person, I think it's the same exercises we discussed. Go in and
we've already talked about them with her.
Yeah, so do practicing your 2-point, practicing all the things that you need to do, keeping soft. Okay, we've got more pictures of her. And I think we are 10 o'clock here. We do have this for you, Mackenzie, for sending it in. How do you like that? That's awesome. Okay. And we're going to move on to the next one. Yeah, we are. So we do. I have. Who's this person? That is also Mackenzie. Mackenzie sent in a lot of photos. Okay, so here's the one that. Who was it that sent this one in? I have it as Christine. TRS Murray. TRS Murray sent in this. This is a really good video. Let me just see now. Do I have it? Yes, I do. This is TRS Murray. As you can see, overthinks her release and throws herself in midair. How do we fix this? I've been working with her, making her jump with one hand behind her back, and it's helped a little, but reverts back when she gets her reins back. So this rider is working on a circle, and she's coming up to a little cavaletti. Looks like a lovely, quiet horse. Am I showing it, Randy? Am I just talking? Okay, good.
Oh, I can see it. I see it. So as I'm watching it, first, this is a challenging curve to come around that corner. I love the use of the cones, by the way. I love cones because they really help. So that what she's doing is she's setting this rider up to jump on a sharp corner, which is very challenging for anybody. So kudos to the rider. What I like about the rider as she comes through is that as she starts the circle, she's so balanced. Look at how balanced she is. You know, so she's taking the horse with her instead of the horse falling in and out. Now, as she comes up to the jump right about there, do you see where she disconnected and she popped her elbows? That might be what you're seeing as the trainer. For somebody like this.
Is that it there, Randy?
This is where she starts. But see, she's okay here. Now here at this point, she's going to start locking up her body. See her starting to do weird things with her body?
Yeah, she's hollowing her back. Her lower leg looks pretty good.
Yep. So she's jumping ahead of the horse just ever so slightly. So you see she's brought her chest down to the horse's neck instead of keeping her seat back and sitting down, which is going to cause what's going to happen in the next step where her hand pops off the mane. So here she is. She's getting, so here, see, this is okay, but she's crunching her rib cage down. You can see she's like dropping her rib cage over her belly at this point. And that's instead of going into her lower legs and solidifying. And this is like a second of time. She should go deeper into her legs and instead of scrunching her rib cage down over her pelvis. That's where she loses it.
Yeah, right there.
Locks up everything. It's not a bad thing. She slides off the back of the saddle, and that's just a sign that she's locked up for this 2 seconds of time in the riding position. And it's not a bad thing. It'll be easy for a trainer. I think the trainer sent this in. Awesome job with this rider. So all she has to do is, like we talked with the last rider, do the exercises where this rider could practice riding with their eyes closed a little bit, or slanted eyes, whatever you want to use, so they start feeling it. One hand on the mane to keep their upper body back and to keep their hand on the mane, because she disconnects there because she's locked up on her body and she takes it back. Her hands, her whole upper body stiffens up right here.
Yep.
And that's just because she's lost the spring. So get her to put her hands there, use a neck strap, do all the exercises we've talked about, and just get her comfortable. Again, I would with this rider, maybe not on this turn because it's hard to turn with your eyes closed. I would have her get used to the idea, let her find her balance. Her tipping point is what I call it. See, like right here, she's tipped over the front.
Then all of a sudden she feels that she got left back and she's landing right into her knees.
That's right. And then the horse falls apart, loses his balance, and comes down. See the horse, how he's falling? I mean, they come down. But right here, now what she's going to do is she's going to sit back here where she should be sitting back more over the fence and watch the horse drop down and gate. And he just falls on his forehand automatically. But it shows you this rider has got the ability to do this.
See, and then she gets back in balance.
That's right.
So it's just
that.
Okay, there looks good. And I'm just trying to do frame by frame. That looks okay.
Well, yep. Right here's where she's collapsing her body.
There, she gets kind of left behind in the back of the saddle.
That's right, because she's starting to put her weight into the front instead of into her lower legs. And it's like there. See, this is where she's locking herself up and pushing her seat back in the saddle, which is going to cause that jackknifing you're seeing. Now, the next step, she's going to be jerked back with her upper body. Her hands are going to come off, and that's because her body's locked up.
Their hands start coming off, and she does not want to touch the horse's mouth. So rather than doing that, she rounds her shoulders to stay with the horse rather than staying in a balanced position.
Right, going deeper into her position. Exactly.
Yeah, going deeper into her heel and lower leg, her base.
And here's where she starts locking up.
And there she's totally locked. She's got the stiff arms here.
Yeah.
And here's
which, jams right into the horse's back. So when they land, they're feeling pump when they come down.
And look at this. If we took the horse away at that moment, where would this rider land?
That's right.
Would she land in balance on her feet? Anybody have an answer to that question?
I do. She'll fall on her face. But
the other thing is that she stops right after, which is a little unfortunate.
It could, but that might be the process because a lot of hunter-jumper riders, they'll ride a line and then they halt at the end because it helps set up a horse for lead changes and stuff. So that doesn't bother me as much. But, she just the horse just kind of falls underneath of her. But that might be because that's what they've been doing at the end of the line halt. That's what I would say. So that doesn't bother me so much. She disconnects here unconsciously, I'm sure. And then she just brings the horse to a walk.
Does she bring the horse to the walk, or does the horse just kind of falls into a walk?
Watch her use her seat. Seat, lose seat. Oh, wait, here's my seat again. See it?
Yep. So if TRS Murray is here, and if you have any questions about that, or if anybody else has any questions about what's happening in this video, please put it in the comments. We'd love to. Okay, we're here. She says, yeah, she's going to land on her face. Yes. Yep. She says, we have a very small indoor, so we struggle. Yeah, I see it.
Oh, but you're doing a great job. If this is you, TRS, great job.
You're doing a wonderful job. The horse looks amazing, beautiful, soft, and good condition.
And that curve, as I said in the beginning,
60 by 50.
It's a tight curve, but in Europe, a lot of the rings are smaller and they get used to riding in it. The size of the ring will make you a better rider.
Yeah. So she says the ring is only 60 by 50. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you're doing a great job. And the horse looks in beautiful condition. Like, look at the shiny coat and good weight and everything. Lovely.
Happy horse.
We will working on our 100 by 200. We will be working on starting this week. Woohoo! Awesome.
Ooh, nice.
Excellent. Yeah. So exercises for this rider, Randy.
Well, the same ones we've been using with everybody.
Exactly. So I'd like to see this rider with a neck strap around the horse's neck to loop her fingers, or a martingale strap or something around so that she cannot pop up. It's almost like she gets up too early. And you said that you've been working with her with one hand behind her back. I think that's a really great exercise to put one hand behind her back. But I think it all stems from her lower leg.
Yep.
And if she's got a secure lower leg underneath her, she'll be less likely to pop back and really try to follow with her hands. So I would start with trot rails, 2-point trot rails, 2-point moving and keeping her legs secure. Hey, Randy?
Yep, I agree with all of that. It just takes practice. Again, everything you're working on in your riding position is something that Laura and I and everybody else in the horse world who does an education, a training skill with their training has to go through. So we've all done what you've done. We might still do it at times, who knows? But just be aware of the fact that everybody goes through the same process when they're learning or when they're riding, when they educate themselves to go up the training scale.
Now, do you think this is a difficult thing to correct?
No, not with a rider of this level. And a trainer who's educated this rider to this level to be able to ride that corner like that, that's impressive.
Okay, TRS wants to go to the next video. Okay, yep, I'm on it. This is the same rider, I think. Going the other direction over, I think it's the same rider. We're going to find out. Yeah, it's the same rider.
Yep. So this shows the rider. This shows where most riders are weaker on their left leg, and this shows us where your position is weak on the left side. Your tendency with your left leg is to, and it looks basically pretty good, but you lock up on it. Like most riders, you lock up on your left leg.
Lock up on your left leg, and you can see that her leg is just ever so slightly swinging, and that's kind of accentuated.
Yes.
When she goes over the jumps here. Let's just see if I can zoom it up.
Look at her seat. Looks in a nice place. Here's where she started jumping too soon. That's where you've left. You lock up your legs. You get up into your knee and into your lower leg, and it's ever so slightly. You're just out. You jumping before the horse jumps.
This looks good, but looks like you're pinching with your leg. Let's see what happens in the next one. Love the way your heel's going down.
Yep.
Okay.
And look at how nice her hands are.
So great because we can go frame by frame or whatever.
Right.
Okay, so if you notice here, look at where her foot is.
Yep.
Her stirrup is right by the horse's elbow.
Yep, she's pushed her legs forward, which will push your seat back and results in the jackknifing you did over the first time.
Exactly. So you pushed her feet, she wants to put her heels down, which is great.
Yes.
But she's put her heels down by jamming her foot forward, and to keep in balance, she's pushed her seat towards the back.
Right. You've locked, and doing so locks up all of your joints, so you don't have the spring to be able to stay with the horse's movement.
Okay. Now look where her leg is. It's swung back.
Yep.
So let's go here.
Yep. That's when she tips over to the front.
There you can see forward by her elbow, and now it's swung back.
And next she'll tip over the chest. Well, it's a bounce, so let's see.
So there, her back looks okay, but this is what. Okay, I'm gonna try and see if I can do it.
See her starting to tip.
Yep.
Woo! So that's what happens right there, and there's not a bad thing, but that's where you can clearly see she is pushing herself to the back of the saddle by thinking that she's bringing her legs forward to hold her position, and it's not a bad thing. It's just if you lock up your body, you can't follow the horse's movement, and that pushes you out of the saddle, which causes you to duck. Like the next step, you're going to notice she's going to duck down to the chest.
Yeah, so here she's rounded her shoulders, so her hands have come off the neck, right? And she's rounded her shoulders, so she doesn't. But look where her leg is. It is by the horse's elbow again.
Pushing her seat back.
Yeah. And now her leg is starting back. There, exactly. Her weight has come off of her lower leg. Her heel has come up. See where her leg is now?
Yep.
And then she does the rounding thing. So she needs to keep her position for a little bit longer, and she comes back up too early.
Right. You know, it's really just the 2-point position. You just stay in that. So what's happened, like with every other rider in the world and all of us, is that you're thinking, I would say unconsciously, this rider is jumping ahead of her horse instead of just sitting there. So all she has to do is practice, just sit there. Whatever exercises you have, whether it's the hand behind the back or whatever, you know, there's so many
Sit
things that
quietly.
you do. Just
Yeah.
sit quietly and don't tip.
And
Feel the tipping point. 'Cause you,
develop the lower leg
yeah,
so it's not swinging. Now, if you just focus on her lower leg, you can see it, particularly, you know, when she's cantering by, it's not that bad. But as soon as you get to the cavaletti, it really accentuates what's happening with her leg,
right.
swinging, that you can see it. And this means to me that this rider needs to be working on developing her lower leg. I think this rider would benefit from the up, down exercise, doing a trotting, either outside or in the arena here, going straight on a circle, and stand in your stirrups in your 2-point position for, I do 2 steps and 1 step down, up, down, up, down, up, down, or do 5 steps, 2-point, 5 steps rising, 5 steps, 2-point, 5 steps riding. So they develop that ability to stay in the 2-point and feel what's happening underneath them and relax their knee and let the weight come down. Are you focusing on that video? You're looking at it, Randy.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'm just listening to you. So yeah, so most of the international riding schools, what they do is the rider comes out and the first thing they do is they do the stretching and the warm up. The rider has to do 5 minutes of 2-point position. And what happens is the riders that get lock up in their body, at the end of 2 minutes, they start getting a little bit tired. By the end of 4 minutes, they get really springy in their riding position because they get really tired.
Yeah.
So if you have your riders do this 5 minutes, like this rider just needs to become aware of the point where she loses her spring. She may not know where her spring is all the time. So just be like, keep asking her, where's your spring? Where's your spring? Because if she locks up, there is not going to be any spring. Ask her to feel the tipping point. Are you tipping forward or over your seat bones or over, wherever your balance point is? Like here, you can see she's going to start tipping. Oh, she didn't do too bad there. So lovely rider, nice horse. You've really done a nice job developing the more they are. This is just the nitty-picky stuff that makes the difference because the reality is most of us compete.
Yeah, and if you put the jumps up higher, it's just going to accentuate what you're seeing here.
Right.
And it's not going to be, so I would, back up the bus. Not that, I mean, she's fine. She's safe. She's not interfering. But she is kind of getting, her hands are coming off the neck as she's landing. And we'd like for her to keep her hands on the neck until she's landed. So keep in that 2-point position. Wouldn't you agree, Randy?
Yep.
Yeah.
And as I said before, a trainer that's able to get a horse to ride like this, because this is a nice presentation. This will be easy for her to it's just isolating. Well, how do I teach this rider to feel when she disconnects from her riding position? And that's all this is. It's an opportunity for you to take her and her horse to the next level. Just say, do you feel what's happening right here? When do you disconnect?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a great way of putting it. When do you disconnect? It's and this rider should be able to feel when that happens because it looks like she's got a good feel. She's got a lovely position, and she knows that something's not going right, and that's why she sent it in for review.
Right.
I think. Yeah.
Well, anybody that sends something in for review, they know that we're not here to tear you down or anything. We're here to build you up to take you to the next level. And we will go deep because that's what we do. And that's why you're sending your stuff in. And we really appreciate it because by you sharing your photos and your videos, you're able to take the other people who are watching, become aware of what's happening so that they can make a difference in what they're doing with their horse and in their riding position. So thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, so does anybody have any questions before we move on? We do have quite a few viewers here today. If you have any questions or comments about what we're doing, and if you're on the YouTube, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos coming out. We have videos 2 or 3 times a week. And, if you really like what we're doing here, I suggest you join us on Wednesday on Jumping Instructors Network on Facebook, because we have not only Randy and I there, but we also have special guests, some international riders, trainers that talk to us as well. And they also have some very good comments and questions. And
so you know that the Jumping Instructors Network is basically designed for professionals in the horse business. So that's what you'll be stepping into when you go into those pages.
Yeah. If you'd like to join us there, you're welcome to join us for sure. Okay. So, any questions coming in there, Randy?
I don't see any.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to
see them. I can see psychically, I can hear questions. Like I remember when I first came to the aha moment of realizing that the most important thing was to be anchored into the leg and to keep the seat over there and stuff. That's such a profound place to be. So some people are seeing it for the first time. It's got to be a life-changing experience. Would ground poles before the jump help? They could, but this is your position we're talking about.
Yeah. It's gonna accentuate whatever is happening. Whatever's happening that you don't like to have happen, it's going to accentuate the weaknesses that are in that rider's riding position. So if you put a pole in front of the jump, that's just going to accentuate more whatever it is that you really don't want to see. So I would back it up and put 2 or 3 ground rails, 2 or 3 trot poles on the ground,
and then slowly
work over that.
Slowly build it up and just become aware of when do you tip, when do you disconnect.
Yeah, slowly build it up. I agree.
Because she's got the rest of the building blocks in place, so it'll be easier for her. All the riders that you shared today, they're good riders, and it's just basics that they can do that'll take them to another level with what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay, so if no more questions, okay, Lori Bradford says, watching now. Thanks for this, ladies. I now miss coaching. Yes. Excellent. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today, and we will see you later. Now go use this stuff and go hug your horse. And what do you like to say, Randy?
See you on the other side of the fence.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.